got another guy coming up here, funny dude right here. He comes from Wyoming, so you know this motherfucker funny. It just seemed like what I should have said. So you know, this motherfucker about to rip this bitch. Y'all give it up for Brandt Tobler, let him in.
Back. I'm in what they call the Canadian tuxedo. A denim suit with a little extra Canadian here with the Bieber. And so let me ask you guys this. Anybody ever have a celebrity fuck their girlfriend? No? Yeah, it happened to me. Not even that famous of a celebrity. It was actually a Canadian, which makes it even a little less. Like, if you could fuck any Canadian, who would you pick? Ryan Reynolds, that's a good answer. If you could fuck any Canadian, who'd you pick? Ryan Reynolds, part 2? I would have thought Drake, maybe. Yeah. Mine's not nearly as cool as those two. Yeah, my girlfriend, this guy, he was number 98 in the movie Mighty Ducks. His name was Pacey on this shitty show called Dawson's Creek. It's a dude named Josh Jackson. He's a horrible actor and an even worse person, if you ask me. But so I was living in Vegas at the time, and my girlfriend was going to school in Wyoming at the University of Wyoming. And Josh Jackson happened to come to my hometown to film a movie. If you don't know anything, most people don't really know anything about Wyoming. The only thing they know is when Matthew Shepard, that poor gay kid, was killed. So Josh Jackson came to my hometown to film a movie about it. So I wasn't the victim of a hate crime, but I was the victim of a hate crime movie, which I'm trying to get a law passed, but no one gives a shit like you guys. I've got like 12 signatures, but whatever. But I'll never forget, my girlfriend at the time was hanging out at the Hot Club in Laramie, Wyoming. If you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. It's called the Holiday Inn Bar. And she calls me up at midnight, and she's like, "Oh my God, Josh Jackson from Dawson's Creek's here. This is so cool." I'm like, "Yeah." I tell myself, "What's up?" She calls me back at 1 a.m. She's like, "Oh my God, Josh Jackson from Dawson's Creek's buying us drinks and shots. This is so cool." I'm like, "Yeah." I tell myself, "What's up?" 2 o'clock comes, the bar closes, no phone call. 3 o'clock comes, no phone call. 4 o'clock comes, no phone call. I don't know if you've ever known someone's fucking your girlfriend while it's happening, but it is the worst feeling in the world. It's like this big dick just kept poking me in the stomach over and over, and it just wouldn't come no matter how much I cried. And I finally fell asleep at like 8 a.m. And she called me the next day around noon. I'm like, "What happened last night?" She's like, "We went and had sex with Josh Jackson." And I was like, "We? Who's we?" She's like, "Me and my best friend Stephanie," who also had a boyfriend at the time. And like, looking back on it, I get it. She lived in Laramie, Wyoming. She had to think that was her only chance to fuck a celebrity. She had no idea I'd become this famous. I hate that always gets the biggest laugh of my show. But no, if we're being honest, I deserved it. If we're being honest, I deserve it. I cheated on her a couple times, not with celebrities. Really regular chicks, like the Arby's cashier and girl that gives you the putter at the Putt Hut place. So I deserved it, if we're being honest. But I used to never tell this story because I didn't want my friends to find out and make fun of me. But like 2 years ago, when I still lived in LA, my manager and my agents called me up and they're like, "Hey, they're doing this storytelling show at the Comedy Store. You should go tell that Josh Jackson story. It'll be like funny and like therapeutic." And I was like, "All right." So I went and I told this story to a sold out crowd, which was an awful idea because all my dickhead friends were there. And they all bought me VHS box sets of Dawson's Creek for Secret Santa gift, which I know cost more than $10, so they broke the Secret Santa rule just to hurt my feelings. So I do the show, and after the show, I go and I'm sitting at the bar by myself, and all these people are coming up to me, and they're like, "Hey, man, that story's sad. Is it actually true?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course it's true. If I was going to make it up, I'd at least say, like, James Vanderbeek or somebody who gives a shit about Josh Jackson." So as I'm walking out of the Comedy Store, I walk out the front patio, and there's a couple smoking cigarettes like 20 yards away, and this dude sees me, and he flags me down. He's like, hey, man, can I talk to you real quick?" I was like, "Yeah, man, what's up?" He goes, you're not going to believe this, but like 2 months ago, we were at a bar right down the street, and Josh Jackson was in there drinking for like 2 hours. And I just smiled and I said, you know what, dude? If I had a time machine, I would go back to that bar, and I'd beat the shit out of Josh Jackson. And he laughed, and we both thought it was funny, but I guess his girlfriend didn't think it was that funny, because she immediately stepped up, and she's like, hey, man, if you had a time machine, you should probably go back and save that gay kid, and then Josh Jackson never come to your shitty little town and fuck your whore girlfriends. I know. And I didn't know what to say. For some reason, I was like, thank you. And I turned around and I walked to my car, and I'll never forget when I got to my car, all I could think was, man, if I had a time machine, I would go back 45 seconds and I would kill that bitch right in front of her boyfriend. So if you guys ever see Josh Jackson or Mark McGrath from the band Sugar Ray, please beat the shit out of them because they keep fucking my girlfriends and ruining my life. Oh man, this story. People, I love that girl. I love that girl so much. People always ask me, what happened? What happened with that girl? Did you guys break up the second you found out about Josh Jackson? And of course, we did not. We stayed together like another year, which again, like I said in the video, I deserved to be cheated on. I cheated on her with regular chicks, no famous people. So I had it coming. And I also, she was very trustworthy. I knew she would only cheat on me with celebrities. And I was pretty sure there wasn't going to be any more celebrities in Laramie, Wyoming. So we ended up dating, like I said, for about another year. The only mistake I made was at one point I asked her, and I don't know why I asked this question. It was just driving me crazy. But I was like, hey, does Josh Jackson have a big dick? And she was like, yeah, it was huge. And it still hurts. It hurt just saying it right now. And she knew that bothered me. And of course I deserved it. I should never ask that question. And the whole thing bothered me to the point where she tried to make up for it. Well, at one point, she's like, I got a surprise for you. I'm sorry about what I did. I want to surprise you. So I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan. So she brought me tickets to the opening night. The Broncos had built a brand new stadium. They were playing the Giants on Monday Night Football, and she got us great seats. I still have my ticket stub. She got me a ticket to the first game at Invesco Field, and we had an incredible night. The Broncos won. We got wasted. We got back to the hotel, and she's like, hey, I have one more surprise for you. And she put on this incredible outfit, and I'd never had anal sex, and she said she had never had it either. So she was like, I want to do it with you. So we had anal sex that night, and it went bad, like as bad as it could go. And I'm not talking like poop on the carpet or like the hotel maids walking in. This is the honest to God truth. We had anal sex that night. We fell asleep. We woke up a couple hours later, and it was 9/11. Now, I don't think it's my fault, but as a proud American, I've never done it again. And I've had a lot of chances. I've had women on the road be like, hey, will you please come fuck me in the ass? And I'm just like, no, I can't do it. I love this country too much. So, and not long after, I bet it was maybe 5 months after that football game, we broke up for good. And we're still friends to this day. She's an awesome girl. She married an amazing man. She has beautiful children. She did great. And like I said, we're still friends. And the other thing, people always ask me about Josh Jackson, because I lived in LA for 9 years. And I've met all kinds of celebrities, but I've never met Josh Jackson. And if Josh ever sees this dude, I'm not mad at you. I bet my girlfriend that night didn't even tell you she had a boyfriend. So I know this probably wasn't your fault, but it's been torture for me. Because anytime Josh Jackson is in the news for anything, I get emails, text calls of Josh Jackson did this, Josh Jackson did that. You know what I have in my house? I have 11 Josh Jackson. I've never seen the movie. I have 11 96 Mighty Ducks jerseys in my basement because everyone thinks it's so funny to send them to me. So, Josh, I'm not mad at you. If I could do it all, I wish my girlfriend would have picked Janet Jackson instead of Josh Jackson. But Josh Jackson, I root for you. I want nothing but success for you. And part of that's selfish because if you could just do a little better in your career, this story would probably do better online and help my career. So get after it, Josh. Go fuck other people's girlfriends and let's get that career back going strong. You guys like Vegas? Yeah? I fucking hate Vegas. I used to live in Vegas for like 10 years, and I got kicked out of a casino for the rest of my life. And I used to tell this story on stage, but then the casino found out, and they called my manager and my lawyers, and they said, if you keep telling this story on stage, we're going to sue. So I can't tell you guys which casino I was at, but I will tell you guys that the lawyers at the Imperial Palace are fucking assholes. So I was at this random casino just hanging out, right? Me and my buddy went there because we knew this guy on the internet named Craig, and he had this long list of girls. And I wanted to acquire one. All right, if you guys didn't get the Craigslist joke, I want to get a hooker, guys. I want to get a hooker. I lived in Vegas for almost 10 years. I feel like that's part of Vegas, right? Like you go to the Bellagio, see the fountains, you take a picture by that dumb sign, you get a hooker. But I just love my grandma so much, and I'll never forget when I was like 11 years old, my grandma pulled me to the side, and she was like, Brandt, don't you ever pay for pussy. Which is weird to tell an 11-year-old, I agree. But it stuck with me my whole life, so I think it was like good grandparenting, honestly. So in my head, I was like, I can't buy a hooker. But then I was like, what if I just won enough money gambling? It'd be like the casino just comped the hooker for me. Like a total rewards hooker is what I was calling it. And I'm usually a shitty gambler, but this was like my lucky night. So I sit down at the roulette table, I buy in for $100. After 45 minutes, I'm up $1,500. And I turn to my buddy with me and I'm like, holy shit, man, this is the best night of my life. And right when I say that, the pit boss comes over, and I don't know if he's mad I'm winning or if he's just being a dick, but he's like, hey man, can't be talking like that in my casino. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you can't be saying shit. I was like, I can't say shit in a casino? It's 2 a.m., man. There's people doing blow and we're gambling. I can't say shit? He goes, I told you once, I'm gonna tell you again. You say shit one more time and you're out of here. I was like, all right, that's fair. But since you just said it too, if you say shit one more time, you're out of here. He didn't laugh as much as you guys did. He, of course, called the security guards. There's nothing I hate more in life than casino security guards. If you've ever been to a casino, you know what I'm talking about. They're all the same, between 40 and 50, fat, weird facial hair, men or women. And they always travel in groups of 5, so here comes 5 security guards just waddling over, carrying all their broken dreams, because they want to be real police officers, but they have like a 4th grade education and run like a 26-minute mile. So here comes 5 of them, because I said shit in a casino at 2 a.m., right? So the first one comes up, he goes, hey man, some kind of problem? I was like, yeah, there's a huge problem. You dumbasses are talking to me in public. He's like, oh, really? Really, buddy? You want me to call my sarge? You want me to call the sergeant? I'm like, yeah, call the fucking sergeant of casino security. I don't know how you become sergeant if you get a couple Nike wristbands and some Under Armour sleeves, and I'm like, call your sergeant. So here comes the sergeant waddling over with 5 more security guards. So now we have a sergeant and 10 security guards because I said shit in a casino at 2 a.m. So one security guard goes, hey, let me see your ID. So I hand him my Wyoming ID. He looks at it real close, and he takes it over to the sergeant. Sergeant looks at it real close. And sergeant waddles back over, hands me back my Wyoming ID. The first thing he says to me is, hey, boy, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from Wyoming, sir. He goes, well, I don't know how you talk to your little sheep girlfriend in Wyoming, but you're not going to say shit in front of women in my casino. And all the little security guards laughed. I was like, you know what, sir? I never like to curse in front of women, but I do know a group of women that curses every single morning. It's your mothers when they wake up and go, my son is a 47-year-old security guard in Las Vegas. Shit! They didn't laugh as much as you guys did. He's like, that's it, smart ass. Take your chips, go to the cage, and get out of here. But you guys know how it is, there's that many security guards. Big ass crowd forms. I'm a performer. I see a crowd, I'm like, it's showtime, bro. You want to ruin my hooker dreams? Here we go. So I didn't know what I was going to do, so I knew I was going to do something. So I look at my boy, I'm like, watch this. So I start to walk towards the cage to cash out my chips, but I have to walk by the pit boss that started the whole thing, and he's just sitting there with a smirk on his face like he beat me. So as I'm walking by the roulette table, if you guys know anything about roulette, there's the wheel, and then in front of the wheel, there's like $100,000 worth of chips, right? So I get to the table, I reach in, I'm like, fuck it, I don't want this money. I stop the wheel while it's spinning, and I pull the roulette ball out right in the middle of the casino. Casino goes quiet like I'm holding a bomb or something. And I don't know what came over me. I think it's like when you're a little kid, I was like, well, fuck it. If I can't play, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. But as I'm holding this little marble, I realize I don't want this thing. And I look up and I see the pit boss looking at me all confused. And in all my drunken anger, I just reared back and I threw that roulette ball as hard as I could at the pit boss. Hit him right in the chest. This one gets a little blurry. Because all those fat-ass security guards come tackle me in the middle of the casino. I land on my face. I chip one of my teeth. We wrestle around for like 45 seconds. My watch breaks. Somehow I lose a flip-flop. And they have me pinned on this dirty-ass casino carpet, and they zip tie me up in the back. And when they stand me up, the casino goes crazy. Like, the few older people that are still up are like, get him out of here, he's a nuisance. But the young people are like, holy shit, that was incredible. And they're trying to high-five my shoulder as I one flop to casino jail. So now I'm in casino jail for like an hour, which is way nicer than my hotel room. And I'm just sitting there talking shit to these security guards. I'm like, guys, do you really have to wear all the Nike wristbands and underarm sleeves? And what drawer do we keep the plastic badges in? And what time will mommy be here to pick you up from work? Like, I'm riding them hard for like an hour. But then the real cops come, Las Vegas Metro, and I have a respect for real police officers that do real shit, you know? And plus, these two cops are huge. So they come in, and the security guards tell the cops the whole story, and the cops are like, all right, we'll take them from here. So they have me stand up, and they take me out of the zip ties. They put me in real handcuffs. I'm scared to death. I've never been in trouble before. I remember just sitting there, my legs shaking, and these two big cops are like, all right, come with us. And we walk down this long hallway, and they don't say one word to me, and I'm just getting more scared and more scared. And we eventually get to this huge elevator, and I get in the elevator, and the two big cops come in. One stands on each side of me, like I'm a killer or something, right? I think I play tight end for the Patriots or some shit. Relax. We can laugh at that. He killed like 3 people. Relax. I guess technically it's 4 now, but whatever. But I'll never forget, we take the elevator down to the lobby, and the cops like sit right here and wait. And I remember just sitting at a slot machine thinking, who's gonna bail me out of jail? What am I gonna do? And after about 10 minutes, the big cop comes over. He's about 6'7", 6'8", one of the most intimidating dudes I've ever seen. And he's just standing over me, and I remember just looking up at him, and he just looked down. He's like, hey, man, just so you know, I've been doing this job 17 years, and that is the greatest fucking story I've ever heard. So he said, what's going to happen is we're going to give you a ticket, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to show up for court because we won't show up for court, and the casino can't pay all these people to take a day off from work and go to court. So you're fine. Just don't ever come to this casino again. So the next night, right now, fucking, I never went back. But the best part of that story, if you come to my house here in Denver, like in my office, I have awards and pictures with famous people, college degree hanging on the wall. No one gives a shit about any of that. The only thing anybody ever wants to talk about is this pink ticket I have framed above my desk from the Las Vegas Metro Police Department that just says, disturbing the peace, stopping live roulette game in progress, and hitting pit boss in chest with roulette ball. Which has done way more for my career than some bullshit-ass college degree, so... If there's any parents in here tonight, I'll just give you this little message. Like, I'm sure you've worked your ass off your whole life and saved up a ton of money to send your kid to school at like Florida or ASU or something. But part of you thinks they're just gonna go to college and fuck around and blow all your money. What I would do is like buy yourself a boat or maybe take like a 3-week trip to Italy and then just give your kid like $500, tell him to go to the closest casino and fuck a bunch of shit up. And one day he'll be doing sold-out comedy shows like me in the middle of Denver, Colorado. That is my advice to you guys. Oh, the good old roulette story. My first real getting in trouble Vegas story. And the worst thing about that story is I got arrested, and then once they told me that they wouldn't show up for court, then I realized I could do it all the time. Like, here's my ticket. It's all a true story. People are like, is it really true? It's 100% true. Here's my ticket that hangs in my office at my house. And so after that night, I proceeded to get kicked out of casino after casino over the next probably 5 years. Here, I have a rundown of these are casinos I'm currently 86th from. Excalibur, Planet Hollywood, Harrah's, MGM, Venetian, Bally's, Four Queens, South Point, Casino Royale, and the El Cortez. The El Cortez was the last one because it all backfired. All those other times I got 86th and they would just walk me off the property. the police would come, I'd get tickets, it would all just go away. But the El Cortez, it happened late at night, and I ended up getting arrested, and I had to go to jail. And when I got out of jail, I went back to El Cortez, because at the time I was a runner for the biggest professional gamblers in the world. So I was one of the biggest gamblers they had at the El Cortez. So the El Cortez reached out to the judge, to the court system, and said, we don't want to press charges on Brandt. It was a misunderstanding. Can we just have this all go away? And the judge said no. Looking at my records, seeing all the times I got arrested, said, this kid is a problem. So even though the El Cortez tried to drop all the charges, the judge said no. And she made me pay a $600 fine, and I had to go to anger management class, which was on a Saturday from 8 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, which made me angry to waste a Saturday. But I'm proud to say I graduated from, let me show you this. I graduated from the Las Vegas Municipal Court. Brandt Tobler has successfully completed Impulse Control Program, sessions 1 through 4. This is my diploma that hangs next to the ticket from the Las Vegas Police Department. It says, you can see my diploma. Here's my mugshot. Here's a picture of me and Suge Knight. There's a picture of me drunk standing on top of a police car in Cheyenne, Wyoming. It hangs in my office along with the ticket. So this was kind of the final straw, having to go to actual jail. It's the only time I've been to actual jail. And then having to go to the impulse control class made me realize that as much as I hate authority, I needed to retire from fucking with security guards. So hopefully, well, let's hope that's the last time I get arrested and have to go to casino jail or real jail. I have to be a comedian. I couldn't do anything else. I haven't had a real job in like 25 years. I always say my resume looks like a WNBA box score. It's very unimpressive and nobody wants to see that shit. It's awful. Oh, you guys are WNBA fans? Fucking dorks. Who's your team here in Denver? You bunch of fucking pandering dorks. No, I haven't had a job in 25 years. Last time I had a job, so I grew up in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and these 4 Italian brothers from New Jersey moved to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and opened up a pizza parlor. Now, I'm not saying witness protection, but I'm not really sure why we had 16 video cameras, a shotgun in the freezer, and we sold cocaine as a topping, but that is how we did business at Parkway Pizza. So I love this job, and every Sunday their little Italian father would come in these amazing suits, and he would only talk to his sons in Italian. And I was obsessed with him because I was sure he was like the head of the mafia. And I remember my high school guidance counselor telling me, Brandt, you could do anything you put your mind to. So I was like, fuck it, I'm joining the Italian mob. So I watched every mafia movie, I read every mafia book, and I waited for them to invite me into the mob. But then one day they fired me because they're fucking assholes, or I was late, or it doesn't matter for this part of the story. So I got fired. So I got a job at a sports store next door. It was a place called Sports Fan, which sells hockey, football jerseys and everything. And I worked my ass off there for 3 months, and my manager there was just a complete dickhead. So I decided I was just gonna take all my mafia knowledge and start what I call the Malfia. So here's how the Mafia worked. Like if you work at the taco place, you give me tacos, I give you a hat. You work at like Foot Locker, you give me shoes, I give you a jersey. You work at Sears, you give me a TV, I give you whatever the fuck you want. And after about 3 months, I had the Mafia running so strong that I could get anything in the mall for free, except for puppies and jewelry, and these Mormons own the cinnamon roll place, but whatever, they were shitty. They were shitty cinnamon rolls. So it was so cool because I just walk around the mall like Tony Soprano or John Gotti, and everybody treated me with respect, and I felt like the king of the mall. And then it was going smoothly till one day this bitch snitched on me. And you know what happens when you snitch on the head of the mob, right? I gotta kill that bitch. But I wasn't really a killer at the time. But I did have the hookup at like Country Buffet, so I just like egged the shit out of her car and put some mashed potatoes in her gas tank and shit. But I'll never forget, my managers at Sports Fan, they called me into their office. It was December 17th, and they said, Brandt, we know you've been giving away all our stuff, so you're fired. But you're not technically fired till the 27th because we don't have time to hire somebody new for the Christmas rush and to do returns after Christmas. And in my head, all I could think is, oh my God, everybody I know is gonna have the best Christmas ever. So now I'm just hooking up everybody, which I didn't realize you can't do that. Like little kids would come in, I'd give them a Bronco jersey and a Bronco hat, and they'd run out, and then like 10 minutes later, their dad would march back in and be like, hey, why does my kid have all this free shit? I'd be like, because I'm like Mafia Santa. He's like, you're like a fucking pedophile. Quit giving my kid shit. And I was like, okay, yeah, that looks bad. But I got to hook up a couple single moms, which was awesome. And then December 27th came, and I got fired. And I had to go back to regular life. But it's hard to go back to regular life after you've been running the mafia. So I knew I had to get back in. So I had a buddy that worked at Dillard's, so he got me a job at Dillard's. You guys know what Dillard's is. It's a huge department store that has no business in Cheyenne, Wyoming. So when you work at Dillard's, they put me in the polo like Ralph Lauren section, and we had like a $3,000 a day quota that we were supposed to meet. But that's impossible in Wyoming. Like I'm selling a polo shirt for $85, and there's a Target like 50 yards away selling the exact same shirt for $12. People in Wyoming are like, we have horses at our house. We don't give a shit if there's a horse on our shirts. So needless to say, I wasn't making my quota. So the managers at Dillard's, they started being assholes to all of us. So that's when I was like, I got to bring the mafia back. So I convinced the 9 people that work with me in the men's section to join my mafia. Now we took it to a whole nother level. We had houseware and shoes and luggage, and I could get anything in town. And it was running so smoothly because it's easy to rob Dillard's because there's no cameras. There's just one on-duty Cheyenne police officer that patrols the store. But when you're a cop, that's like a shitty job. So he would take like 2-hour lunch breaks and just stay up at the front of the store and try to fuck the makeup chicks. So I just had signals for my team, so everybody was hooking everybody up. So I had so much stuff. Everybody, all my friends, we all looked amazing. And everything was running smoothly till one day this dude just shows up and he's walking around the store for like an hour. And we all try to help him and he didn't want any help. And my mafia instincts told me something was wrong. So I gave a signal to everybody, shut down the whole operation. And sure enough, about 20 minutes later over the loudspeaker, I just heard, Brandt Tobler, please report to the office. Brandt Tobler, please report to the office. And I didn't know what to do. Part of me's like, fuck it, I should just run out and leave forever. But the other part of me's like, fuck that, that's not what a mob boss does. I ain't no bitch, I can't leave my soldiers. So I put my head up high and I walked down to the office. And when I got to the office, they took me in this huge conference room I didn't even know existed. And there's a huge table in the middle. There's one chair on this side and 5 chairs on this side. So I sit on this side. In comes the head of the store, head of the men's department, head of the women's department, the Cheyenne Police Department officer, and then the guy that'd been walking around the store all morning that they introduced as Marcus, the head of loss prevention, who had flown in all the way from Arkansas just to meet the Godfather. So I was flattered, to say the least, right? So we sit down, and the head of the store is just like an old rich white dude, like principal type dude. And so he starts doing this old thing, just tell us the truth, we'll go easy on you. If you just tell us the truth, we'll go easy on you. I just keep going, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, just tell us the truth, we'll go easy on you. But what he didn't know was I was built for this moment. Because when I was 5 years old, my dad went away to college. Well, that's what my mom called it. You guys would call it prison, of course. And my dad would get out every couple of years on spring break, and he would come visit me. My dad taught me 3 things in life I'll never forget. Number 1, you never snitch, no matter what. He said you only open your mouth if you're in a dentist chair. Number 2, if you ever have extra food at lunchtime, only give it to white people. Weird to tell a 4th grader, I agree. And the craziest one of all, one year my dad got out on spring break and he came home and he took me and my little brother swimming, and we had a great day at the swimming pool, jumping off the high dive, playing Marco Polo and shit. And I'll never forget, I get out of the pool, I go into the locker room, I'm taking a shower. As I'm showering, my father comes in, he sees me showering, he goes, son, hold on. I'm like, what's up, Dad? He's like, put the water on as cold as it can go and then shadow box until you count to 15. I was like, Dad, why would I do that? He's like, son, the way your body reacts when that cold water hits it is the same way it would react if you ever get stabbed. So if you ever get stabbed, you'll be able to fight for 15 seconds. So my dad tells a fucking 12-year-old. And I do that shit till I'm like 19 and I get a girlfriend and she's like, why are we fake fighting in this cold shower? I'm like, you better be ready, bitch. It could go down. So needless to say, I wasn't gonna fall for the old just tell us the truth, we'll go easy on you. So he says it one more time. I go, I don't know what you're talking about. But then the head of the men's department goes, well, we just saw your girlfriend walk out here with 2 bags full of stuff the other day. I was like, why didn't you arrest her then? Why didn't you arrest her? And they looked at each other like dumbasses, and I was like, yeah, I got this shit. But they had one more trick up their sleeve, and so they pull out these letters, and I see these letters, and I'm like, oh no. Because when you work at Dillard's, if you have a customer that buys stuff, you're supposed to send them a thank you letter, and then months later send a follow-up saying like the fall collection's out or whatever. But I wasn't selling anything, so I was sending these letters to my best friend Chance in the Navy, and I just assumed he wasn't writing back because he was defending our country, right? So when I see these letters, I just start giggling because I know what's on these letters. I'm 19 years old, I had just started getting laid, and they are the most graphic sexual letters of all time. Because Chance is like an older dude I always looked up to, so I see him and I start giggling. And the head of loss prevention sees me giggling, and he stands up and he pounds on the table as hard as he can. Boom! He goes, hey kid, this is some kind of fucking game. We just did inventory, and this store is off $600,000. And I was like, holy shit. My dad would be so proud of me right now. But like I said, it made me laugh so hard because I was just a dumbass kid and I had just started getting laid and I had this stupid conspiracy theory in my head. And so I sent this letter to Chance. And in one of these letters, it was weird, like I'd never have a cavity in my life until I started eating pussy. So I was asking Chance, like, Chance, am I doing it wrong? Or are Mexican girls like piñatas? Is there candy in there? Like, why is this happening? So it makes me laugh just to think that they had to read these graphic letters, right? But the one mistake I made was every letter had the word Dillard's imprinted on the top of it. And on one of the letters I wrote, I am robbing, with the word Dillard's there blind. I have so much stuff for you when you come home. So they show me that, they go, what is this right here? I go, what are you talking about? I'm like, they're like, it says you're robbing Dillard's blind. I go, I didn't write Dillard's, it just happened to be there. So we argue back and forth. They both know that I'm lying, but I was like, fuck it, I gotta take a stand. So I just stand up and I put my hands behind my back. I'm like, that's it, guys, I'm done talking. Fire me or arrest me. They're like, sit down, we're not done. I'm like, I'm done. Fire me or arrest me. They're like, sit down. I'm like, no. So the head of the store, he looks at the cop, and the cop's like, come on, let's go outside. So they all five shuffle outside, and they just leave me in there by myself. I'm terrified. I'm 19 years old. I've never been in trouble in my life. I can remember my legs just shaking under the table. And all I could think was my buddy Matt had stole like $500 worth of CDs from Disc Jockey like a month before, and he got a felony. So I was thinking $600,000? I'm gonna be in jail for the rest of my life. I'm never gonna get another cavity. But after about 20 minutes, the head of the store and the cop come back in, and the head of the store is bright red. I could tell he's super pissed, and he sits down across from me, and he slides me this piece of paper, and he says, just so you know, Mr. Tobler, you're never allowed in another Dillard's again for the rest of your life. So I signed this piece of paper thinking I'm gonna go to jail, and I read it, and what they got me for was mail fraud, sending personal letters on company stationery. So I sign the form, and I stand up and I put my hands behind my back, ready to go to jail. And they're like, we're not taking you to jail, we'll just walk you off property. And in that moment, that's when it hit me. I'm like, I am a fucking mob boss. I just beat a $600,000 rap. And the best part about it was they could have just walked me out the back doors right to the employee parking lot, but instead they took me on a lap all the way around the store, which I think they thought would be embarrassing, but it was the greatest fucking victory lap of my entire life. And I'll never forget, I get to the front doors, and I turn around, I say to them, hey guys, thank you so much for allowing me to work here. And they didn't say one word. And I walked out of that store, and I never went back. But I didn't have to, because my buddy Casey got a job there 3 weeks later, and we started the whole operation over again. So fuck Dillard's, don't ever go to that place. Unless I work there, because then it is the best department store in all of the world. So fuck you, Dillard's.
Oh, the mafia. This story, you know, anytime I tell this story on stage after the show, people are always like, well, aren't you worried about getting in trouble? And I was at the beginning, but I mean, this is 25 years ago. I think the statute of limitations has run out, and I've told it a lot of times on stage and even put it on YouTube at one point. So I've never heard from the Dillard's lawyers. So I hope that continues. The actual Dillard's in my hometown in Cheyenne, Wyoming is now closed and gone. And all that's left is I still have my name tag. My Brandt Tobler Dillard's name tag is all that I have. And, you know, it's funny, when I was thinking about this, filming this Suits and Stories, I never wear a suit. I only wear a suit when I have to go to court or a wedding. I don't, suits are too formal. But the first time I ever had to wear a suit was when I worked at Dillard's. And I went to Goodwill and I bought a suit for $20 that was, if you've ever seen the movie Big, it's like when Tom Hanks is wearing, this suit was 2 sizes too big, and I wore it every single day that I worked at Dillard's, which probably ended up being about, I don't know, 7, 8 months. And I don't think I ever cleaned it or anything. But I did, a job was a lot of fun, man. I can't imagine what it's like to be a mob boss, but I've never felt anything like it. I really was the king of them all for a few months there. And that's the one thing I'll say I've learned from that experience, because I haven't really had many jobs in life, but the few people I have worked for, if you own a company, this is what I learned from that whole experience, is if you treat your employees good, they will spend every day helping you try to beat the competition. But if you treat your employees like shit, they will spend every day trying to beat you. So learn from Dillard's mistakes. If you own a business, take care of your employees. And sorry, Dillard's, but you had me and my friends looking good for that year. So thanks again.
Let me ask you guys, what's the worst job in the world? Who's got a shitty job? Anybody have a shitty job? What is it? Beyond gardeners? Oh, ER nurse? Yeah, that's probably tough. But we need you. Don't quit that. Anybody else have a shitty job? I figured out what the shittiest job in the world is. I mean, if you didn't yell it out, and if you do have a shitty job, hopefully this story will make you feel better. If you're having a bad day at work tomorrow, you just remember it could always be worse. So I think I have the best job in the world. This is easily the best job in the world. And as a comedian, people always ask me, what's like the weirdest show you've ever done? And it's an easy answer. There's a legendary comic named Sam Tripoli, and he used to do this thing called The Naughty Show. And he would do it at like strip clubs or sex clubs, and it would be comedians, porn stars, and like D-list celebrities, right? So he invited me to do the Naughty Show at a sex club in Vegas called the Green Door, which is, if you've ever been there, it's like a 64,000 huge sex club, right? So I come in, and you know, the show's sold out. There's like 100 seats, 97 of them are like creepy guys, just waiting for the porn stars, right? So I do my 10 minutes, and I can see dudes in the crowd like, wrap it up, bro. Let's go. We want to see the porn stars. And they were right. Because when I got off stage, the act following me was 3 porn stars and this dude in a bunny suit. And he brought on stage 6 bananas and some whipped cream and a super soaker full of cherry vodka. And they put on one of the greatest performances of all time. Like, if they could have got on America's Got Talent, they would have won easily. I've never seen so much talent on a stage. I wish I could tell you about it, but it was incredible. So when the porn stars come off, one of these porn stars, she comes over to me and she's like, hey, you were like really funny. You want to go get a drink? And I was like, yeah, because that's a weird rule about a sex club. You can do anything in the world there but drink alcohol, which is absurd. So we go to a bar next door. There's a little bar next door called the Badlands Saloon, which is easily the gayest bar I've ever been to. Just straight, like, assless chaps, just like a crazy gay bar, right? So we go over there and we sit down, we have a drink. And at this point, I had a weird childhood friend in town that just always wanted to see me perform, this Mormon kid. And if you know anything about Mormons, they pretend like they're not supposed to go to sex clubs and drink and go, but he couldn't wait to go out. He wanted a break from his 8 kids and wife, so he joins me and the porn star at the Badlands Saloon. So we're sitting at the Badlands Saloon, and all these dudes come in, these creepy like dudes that love porn stars. They come over to my porn star friend, and she had grown her bush out for I don't know what month that is. What month is that? You do that? Is there a month? I don't know. She had a huge bush, right? So these dudes came over, and so we're sitting right by a jukebox, and these creepy dudes come over and they go, hey, can we take a picture with you, like with your bush? And the porn star's like, yeah, if you buy us all shots and you put 4 credits in the jukebox, I'll go take a picture with you. So the dude, and then another dude finds out, so they bring over tequila shots. So this girl's going into the bathroom and taking bush pictures with these creepy dudes, and I'm in charge of the jukebox, and I think I'm a fucking hilarious comedian, so I'm just playing Glycerine by Bush over and over again. I'm only playing Bush songs since Bush is supplying this for us. So we drink, and this porn star, she's great. And so we're hanging out. So at this point, these two just big old these two girls from Oakland just show up. Look like fucking linebackers for the 49ers. So, and the bunny suit guy, so the six of us are sitting there. My Mormon friend, the porn star, me, the two big bitches from Oakland, and then the guy in the bunny suit. So we keep drinking and drinking. It gets to be about 4:30 in the morning, and the porn star goes, hey, we should go back to the sex club. We should all fuck. And I'm like, sweet, because I knew I was going to get to fuck the porn star. And the two Oakland girls, I don't know what's worse, a Mormon dude or a guy in a bunny suit, but they could figure it out. So I'm so excited, because I'm like, I'm going to get to fuck a porn star. So we walk out of the bar, and we go back to the sex club. And when we get to the sex club, there's a note on the door, and it just said, closed for cleaning. And we were all so happy walking over, and as we read it, we were like, oh my God, that's got to be the worst job in the world, to go in there and clean up tears and piss and cum and Fruity Pebbles or God knows what's in there. So all the momentum was kind of ruined, so we were like, let's just go back to the Badlands Saloon. So we go back to the Badlands Saloon, we order up some more drinks, but now everybody's kind of horny. And one of these Oakland girls tells the bunny suit guy, like, hey, let's go fuck behind the stage. So he's like, all right, he's in a bunny suit, he doesn't give a shit, right? So he takes this Oakland girl behind the stage, and they start fucking behind this curtain, which is great because there's like a bunny leg coming out, but you just see a bunny going to town on this girl. So we start giggling, and then the bartender hears us giggling and tries to figure out what's happening. So he comes out, and he sees a bunny fucking a chick on the stage. He loses his mind. He's like, you get out of here, you guys can't do that. We're like, I thought you could do anything in here. He's like, no, get the fuck out of here. So he kicks us all out, and we have that crazy Vegas moment where you walk outside and it's daylight. And we walk out, we're like, fuck, it's like 7 in the morning. So the Mormon kid, he's got to go home, and everybody kind of splits up, and I'm like, damn, I really had a chance with this porn star. And then she says to me, hey, do you want to come to my house? I'm like, yeah, of course. So we hail a cab, and we go to her house, about a 20-minute drive, and we're both just kind of laying on each other in the back seat, and we pull up to this neighborhood, and it's just mansions. Like, she has, like, not like a put in a dumb gate code, like gate guys waiting for her, and we come in, and I pull up to this mansion, I'm like, holy shit. And we go into her house, the biggest master bedroom I've ever seen in my life. And two things I notice immediately when I walk into her bedroom. In one corner, there's a big stage and a stripper pole. And at the base of her bed is this big 12-inch blue dildo. And not just any dildo, it was a fucking Barack Obama dildo. Like the head was his face and the shaft was a suit. And as a guy with a very average white dick, I worry about following just any black guy, but more or less the most powerful black man in the world dressed as Blue Man. So I'm like, oh shit. So she goes, hey, get in bed, I'm gonna shower and I'll meet you in bed. And I was like, okay. So I get in bed, and she comes out of the shower just naked, and she's just gorgeous, and she climbs into bed with me and just starts giving me a blowjob, and I last maybe 45 seconds. If that, I just immediately come all over the place. And she's like, I think it's like that Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours thing, where she had done the work and she was like perfected it. So we fall asleep. And we wake up in the morning, and we're laying in bed in the morning, and she's like, hey, do you want some breakfast? I'm like, yeah, we can go get breakfast. She goes, no, I got it. She just picks up her house phone, and she orders like waffles and pancakes and all this. I'm like, holy shit, this bitch has like a butler. This is amazing, right? So she orders breakfast, and then we fuck again. Well, we fuck for the first time, but it goes just as bad as the first time. I might have made it to a minute, just immediately come. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you're like the hottest girl I've ever had sex with. And I'll never forget, she's like, I know I am. So we fall back asleep, right? We fall back asleep, and then about half an hour later, there's a knock on the bedroom door, and she's like, come in, which is weird. I'm butt naked, and now she has panties on, and just her titties are like flopping out. I'm like, she's just gonna let her butler come in like this? So the dude comes in with a tray full of food, right? And again, she's just like bouncing around, her titties out, and I'm still under the covers, but I'm like, I don't want this dude to see me naked. So he brings over the food, and he sets it down next to her bed. And I'll never forget, this is probably the weirdest moment in my life. The porn star looks at me, looks at him, looks at me, and just goes, Dad, this is my friend. Friend, this is my dad. And I was like, what? And I couldn't get up and shake his hand or anything. So I just nod at him, and he nods back, and he turns around, he walks out of the room, and the second he shuts the door, I'm like, that's your dad? And she's like, yeah. I go, is he gonna be mad about this? And she's like, he won't be mad. Trust me, if he says one fucking word, I'll fire his ass. And I just sat there eating my breakfast like, what does that job pay that you don't want? It seems like the job you want to get fired from. And then we dated for like 2 months, and he was like my best buddy. But if you ever think you're having a bad day at work, just remember, it could get worse. You could have to make breakfast for some random dude that just got done fucking your daughter, and she doesn't even know what his name is. I think that's definitely the worst job in the whole entire world. So think about that.
This is still the craziest night of my life, looking back on it. So many wild things happened that I didn't even get to put in the story on stage, and there's still a lot of people's identity that needs to be protected from that night. But I will say, shout out to Sam Tripoli. If you don't know who Sam Tripoli is, hilarious comedian, and he was the creator of the chaos. Ironically, the guy in the bunny suit from the video is a very famous comedian with a very famous podcast. But I haven't seen him or talked to him since that night, and I'm not friends with him, so I'm not going to put him on blast. But I'm sure if you do a little research, you can find out who he is. He's very funny, and the porn star. You know what? I'm going to put her on blast anyway, but I'll let you guys do a little legwork and find her. I'll give you a hint. Her last name is a fruit, and there's a video of her giving a blowjob that has 7 million views. It should have 700 million views. It is, I think, the best blowjob video of all time. I'm a little biased because I've seen it live, but if I could teach a class to women on how to give a blowjob, I would say find this girl and watch that video. But yeah, it was a night I'll never forget. I was a long way from home. Stuff like that doesn't happen in my little town in Wyoming. But if you're ever in Vegas, I recommend it. Go to the Green Door, 18,000 square feet. I think it's one of the biggest, I think, called social clubs in the country. But I've been there a handful of times, and I've had a handful of good times. So hopefully one day I'll run into you at the Green Door in Vegas, and we'll make another wild story.
It's so weird for me to be in a suit like this. Again, like this is my court outfit. I never have performed in it. I usually have a judge judging me, not 300 people staring here judging me, but I just don't. I'm trying to clean up. You know, I just come from white trash. Like I said, my family's just alcoholics and drug addicts, and I love them all, but they all have huge hearts and small brains. Like, they're all retarded. I know you're not supposed to say that word, but I think that's the definition of retarded, like small brain, huge heart. And I love them, but like I said, they're fucking retarded. And the other day, my mother called me up, and she's on the verge of tears. She's like, Brandt, I don't know what to do. I loaned your little brother $200. He's about to get evicted. I don't know what's happening. I'm like, what do you mean, Mom? I thought Ryan was doing good. She's like, he was doing good. He had saved up $500, and then a knife salesman came to his house and sold him $1,200 worth of knives. And I'm like, what? How does that happen? How do we fix this? She's like, we can't fix it. I called, he called. They have a strict 5-day no refund policy. I said, you know what, Mom, let me call him up and see what I could do. So I call up this knife company, and this snotty ass lady answers. She's like, hello. I'm like, hey, my name's Brandt. We just had a little misunderstanding. My brother bought some knives. We'd just like to get a refund if we could. She's like, nope, absolutely not. Can't do it. Been past 5 days. We have a strict 5-day no refund policy. I can't refund your brother's money no matter what. I was like, okay. We have a bigger problem. Because one of your salesmen came to my little brother's house, and he's retarded, and you guys sold him $1,200 worth of knives when he's not even supposed to have a pair of scissors. And the lady freaks out. She's like, oh my God, we are so sorry. Please let us fix this immediately. Does he have Venmo? Does he have PayPal? We can bring cash to his house by 5 p.m. We are so sorry. Please let us fix this. Just get us the order number, and we will get it refunded today. So I was like, okay, let me call you back. So I call up my mom. I'm like, hey, Mom, I got good news. I got us a refund on Ryan's knives. She's like, what? How? How in the world did you do it? I was like, well, I just called him up. I explained my little brother's retarded. My mom's like, oh my God, Brandt, you can't be telling people your brother's retarded. I said, Mom, he had $500 to his name. And he bought $1,200 worth of knives. He's fucking retarded. I don't know what else to call it. I'd love to call him up and be like, hey, my little brother's financially irresponsible. He dropped out of high school. He's pretty uneducated. He's actually a 3-star waiter at Cracker Barrel with a huge heart. And they'd have been like, yeah, that's what we prey upon. That's why we're a $500 million business. So I've told this joke 2 times here in Denver, and without fail, both times after the show, some little fucking rich 23-year-old girl would come up and be like, hey, you're like pretty funny, but I didn't like that one joke. I'll be like, what, the hiking joke? And they'll be like, no, that's a pretty good joke. You know that one joke. I go, let me ask you something. Do you have a little brother, little sister? They're like, yeah, I have a little brother. I go, so you're telling me if you could call up some random pyramid scheme and say one word to get your little brother's life savings back so he's not homeless, sleeping on the street, using a box of knives as a pillow, that you wouldn't do the exact same thing I did? And both times like, no, I still would never do that. And I was like, you know what? You're fucking retarded too. Get out of my face. Get out of here. Go post that on Facebook. Get your 50 likes. I hate you so much.
This story, it's 100% true. It all worked. The R word does have a lot of power, and it's got me a little trouble. Of course, when I tell this story, a few people are always mad, but it's a real story, and my brother's, of course, not actually retarded. He just makes some retarded decisions sometimes in life. He's just too sweet. He's just such a nice guy that he'll help anybody, and sometimes that puts him in bad spots. And but that's my whole family, you know. I just come from white trash, alcoholic, drug addicts. If you know anything about my career, I don't really have a relationship with my dad or anybody on my dad's side of the family. If you don't know that story, just Google Brandt Tobler, the time I tried to kill my dad. It's a 15-minute video I did for Comedy Central about my piece of shit dad. But I just love my mom, my brother, my stepdad, my aunt, my 2 cousins. They're the ones that give me all the material. They, just like me, continue to make bad decisions in their life, which is great for me because I can bring it to stage. And then I have my little sister who's perfect, who never does anything wrong, and I think oftentimes goes, what is wrong with you guys? But I just wanted to close this whole thing out by just saying I'm so lucky to have the family that I have that stick through me and let me shit on them on stage occasionally. But you only roast the ones you love, and I roast them the most. So thank you to my family for continuing to give me plenty of material, and hopefully they will continue to make bad decisions, which will help my career just go further and further in the future. I love you guys, and I love all my friends and family, and thanks for watching.